by Dennis Evans, Jr., Director of Professional Relations for Dry Eye Rescue. Hi, Dennis. Thanks for joining us.
How you doing, Dr. Garlic? Glad to be here. Excited for the whole weekend event.
Yeah, you and I have spoke quite a bit, actually. I ended up incorporating Dry Eye Rescue into my practice probably 6 months ago, and I've been super happy with it. So I'm very excited to talk about this today. But can you start us off by just talking about what exactly is Dry Eye Rescue?
Yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate you were a great case when you signed on. You wanted to kind of go in, you want to go step by step. You didn't want to go kind of all in at once, and it worked out perfectly. Getting through the holidays, getting staff on board, and now we're kind of rolling pretty good. So excited to get you on board and get back up to Boston, come see the office for myself.
Yeah.
Of course, I might wait for it to warm up just a hair. So Dry Eye Rescue, what we've been doing is, and people are going to learn a lot over this weekend on the main components of the program. You've got your internal marketing, displays, all co-branded, a wholesale website, and a consumer-facing retail website with the end goal of creating awareness in the office. We also use products to drive in patients into the office, drive patient compliance, revenue into the practice. And each of these components really all tie in to the main goal overall of upping the standard of care across the board. And the biggest thing that we love, there's a lot about it we love, but if it's an office that's really focused in all dry eye, great, we plug right in. If they need a playbook and they need a little bit of help to get off the ground and get momentum going, but they still want to do their own show, we're great there. And even for the specialists that we're working with around the country right now that have been doing this for 10 years, they're dialed in, they got it figured out way before everybody else. We complement their system. We make them even better than they already were. So that's what we're doing there. And at the end of the day, with the products, one big component that we want to make very clear that was kind of a fun side effect we learned last year. We didn't really design it this way, but it ended up being the fact is that as we offered more and more products, which we refer to at-home treatments, all of a sudden our in-office treatments started to increase. The patients were more familiar with everything. We'll go into that in more detail, but that really is kind of a little overview of what we're doing.
So that's a good segue into my next question here, because we've heard from many doctors about the problems of converting treatments once they purchase a new piece of equipment. So it seems that many offices assume that adding the latest dry eye equipment will naturally result in more medical treatments, but we've seen that not to exactly be the case. Can you tell us how Dry Eye Rescue helps practices expand their dry eye services and utilize this equipment?
Absolutely. So that one, we did the same thing, kind of recapping on this. We learned a lot of what we're doing from figuring out a lot of things that didn't work. With our 6 practices, we started off with a LipiFlow, brought it in, and then said, great, now what? And just kind of, that's where we were at. So right off the bat, our close rates, as far as even our protocols that we were offering, our staff, they were not very comfortable going from 0 to, hey, scheduling Miss Smith for a $1,200 or $800 procedure. Our doctors that are on board, of course, the 1 or 2 that were super pumped into dry eye was easy, but the other doctors, they weren't as comfortable. And lastly, the severe patients that were coming in, the moderate and severes, that was an easy sell. They've been running around scrambling, looking for something above and beyond what they're already doing, and they dove in. But I think we'd all agree that's a small percentage of our overall patients. We want to expand awareness out to all the mild, moderate patients out there that are unaware of everything that's available. So with the displays, with offering all the products, we didn't feel like we were only offering one large out-of-pocket in-office treatment. The products itself, the products allowed our staff, first and foremost, to get more comfortable. And as they started recommending and using some of the products on their own, they love giving great information to patients. And our doctors were doing the same thing. And when patients came in and said, hey, that drop you recommended me last time was amazing. That was awesome. I'm so glad that you told me about that. Our staff's chests kind of go out a little bit. They're like, yeah. So they start telling more people about it. And then that combined with the people coming back from all the in-office treatments and saying how great it was, it just got the doctors and the staff more comfortable and confident in the whole picture of treatments. So that's really kind of the big thing there.
And then, so back to that main point, how exactly do these products help drive more in-office treatments?
So the direct effect, really what we saw was it's getting patients, again, the severes, they're in right off the bat. They've already tried a bunch of different things. They need above and beyond more. The mild and moderates, well, a lot of them weren't really ready to just dive in. Also, the products and the marketing systems internally help take some of that selling out of the exam lane. The patients are more accustomed to getting a lot of different recommendations. And if you recommend still selling top down and offering a full protocol, which includes all of your high-end in-office treatments, when they see everything laid out, they don't see that as their only option. If they want to kind of toe in the water, if the patient wants to, say, hey, I'm not sure I'm ready for that high-end in-office treatment, let's try some different things. That's a very soft sell. It's a soft pitch. The doctor then recommends a great protocol of products to get them started. They go in a follow-up after 3 months, after 6 months. Now, what we found in our own offices was the patients were saying, hey, all these things that you're telling me are really working and I'm feeling better, but I think I could be even better than that. What was that treatment you had mentioned before? And we get the patients asking us about it. And that's when, all defenses are down. They really feel like they're paying, or they're going to get what they pay for. And it really made a big difference. Again, just bringing the whole system with products and displays and everything, bring dry eye into the forefront of everyone's mind throughout the day. It's not just when the in-office treatment comes up to the staff or a certain patient coming through. Your staff, if they're seeing 20 people a day, 10 people are buying a multitude of dry eye products. So the staff are more in that kind of mode when the in-office treatment recommendation comes through, and it doesn't feel like such a breakaway.
Yeah. What other tools does Dry Eye Rescue provide doctors to help patients consent to treatment?
So what we give as far as all the tools, a lot of it is right off the bat to the staff and the doctors themselves. Easy access to 300 different products that are out there right now, 60 different companies, and it's with one password. Very similar to the world of, say, contacts. You have your same 3 to 4 or 5 contacts that are your favorites. If you get a patient that comes in and it's not the one that you like to normally offer, but they won't change, you have a distributor that you can pull from, keeps them on board. So that wholesale site allows the doctor to full access to everything that's out there, a majority of what's out there, and also a lot of flexibility on what they like to give each patient. They know that no matter who sits down in that chair, they have something in their arsenal they can give them. The internal marketing, we have a product referral pad, discount cards, and different things that we do to really fix the disconnect. We saw a major disconnect in our own offices when we got ramped into products. We were getting really good at selling the first order on site. Getting the second order, 2 months down the road, we were not doing great. I'm not going to lie. So we know that life's happening really fast for these patients. A million things are going on. God forbid they watch the news. And we want them to just make it so easy that their doctor didn't force them where to buy, but gave them an opportunity. Said, listen, I realize I'm giving you a homework assignment. I don't want to make your life more difficult. So if you like, here's a pad. On this sheet has the website, the doctor's specific 10% off discount code that never expires, and actual color photos of all the products the doctor has available on the card or on the sheet, which they choose and all customize. And a month, 2 months down the road, when that patient runs out, they have where to get it, the discount, pictures of the product, and they can avoid the aisle of uncertainty, which is what we call it. When you're at Walmart or CVS and you walk in there and you're like, I'm just going to give up. So that's the tools that we give the patient, but the doctor both use those same tools.
That is probably, I mean, speaking from experience, that's my favorite thing about this is that I have my customized pad because I'm in my practice is in downtown Boston. I don't have a ton of space to keep all of these products. And I sort of feel like keeping all of these products can be a little cumbersome too, just to maintain and track. And did they expire? And did I sell it? Are we out? So I
Right.
like having this almost like store that I can, and it comes with the notepad that was great because I could customize what wipe, what, lid hygiene wipes I use,
Mhm.
what hypochlor spray I use. And then I literally just circle the back of this and I say, okay, get these here. There's a discount code. And that is like the easiest conversion. It does not feel like I'm selling to the patient at all. I'm saying this will help you. You can get it from this website. Like we have it here if you'd like to buy it.
Mhm.
It feels for someone who I'm always very sensitive of like feeling like I'm selling something to the patient. It was such an easy experience.
Our staff, and I love my staff, and they're awesome, and they work their tails off up front. But as soon as we got into this and they felt like they were selling, we were doing trainings every day. And God love the reps that are out there hitting the ground and training the staff to know what to say when they ask about a specific product. But when the rep leaves and then the staff gets hit with a patient up front with a question, I mean, deer in headlights, they would freeze up. And this makes it where it's much more conversational, not a sales pitch. And you guys are doing great by recommending an amazing amount of products to this patient. And now you're going one step further and saying, hey, if it makes your life easier, here's a place you can go. And you mentioned being able to circle the exact product. That's really big. And what we love to see, especially on the patient compliance side, is when they go on average, our average order is around $64. You're looking at around 2 to 3 products, and then they hit subscribe. So you want to talk about easy, and now the patient is saying, and you watch this happen through your own portal. You see what they ordered, and you say, hey, I know Miss Smith now is using all 3 products I recommended every month on autopilot. And again, going back to pushing in-office treatments, you're building confidence in that patient every time. And God forbid patients actually did what we told them, right, on all these products. And when they follow your advice and they come in and they've used all 3 products for 3 to 6 months, and they go, all right, I'm in, I'm hooked. Everything that you're recommending has worked. And now the consent really kind of goes in. That's where they're like, you know what, let's do more of what you're saying. I'm buying in. So.
I mean, I found that with my patients that really a lot of the work when you're treating a dry eye patient, unfortunately, falls on the patient to do all of that work. I can recommend X, Y, and Z, but if the
Right.
patient's not on board, they're not going to improve. And so any way that you can make that a little easier for the patient, whether it's the subscribe thing where they like continually get these products, any sort of hardship you can take out of the equation will cause your patient compliance to increase.
And they do notice, they do notice that you're recommending something and you're not telling them again where they have to go. You're just saying, listen, there's a lot of things I want you to have. So we went out of our way to partner with Dry Eye Rescue to make it to where if you choose, it's a great site, code that never expires, auto ship, free shipping, everything. And that really does, I think, go a long way in the patients. We've seen it in our own practices over the last 3 years, and it's been a lot of fun for sure.
One thing I want to tell you, you and I have spoken a lot about cultivating these dry eye patients and that sort of term. Can you talk about what exactly that means, cultivating these dry eye patients?
Absolutely. So cultivating, again, when we got into this, we don't claim to be the geniuses and the know-it-alls of the dry eye industry. There are so many specialists and people out there that the speakers on this entire weekend are incredible. What we did was we looked and we said, we talked to a lot of people across the United States and we found some challenges. A lot of them was year one, they did really well when they bought the major in-office treatment equipment and they did good. But year 2, that was a little bit of a dip. Year 3, a little bit more of a dip, and it would lose momentum. And what we wanted to do was look the part. Again, we know the severes are going to come in and say, yes, this is great, I'm in, let's go. But we didn't want to focus and rely on all of our internal conversions. So not only do we market outside and tell the world we have these treatments in to bring in new patients, but all of our mild and moderate patients that are coming in for comprehensive, we don't want our doctor every time saying, hey, you need this special, this special out of pocket, mostly out of pocket dry eye evaluation. And like you were mentioning on the possible selling feel, we make it to where they buy in. They're sitting in the chair and they look over and they see all these products that they have never seen before in other offices. Absolutely not displayed like this in the amount to what we're doing. Then they go through and they see a little bit of marketing in the pre-test room, and even one step further in the exam room with the small exam displays. Our goal is that that patient brings it up to you before you even mention anything. You know, when they mention it, it's a whole different process. At that point, you're advising, you're answering, and they're saying, what else do you have available? We want them to know what you have available in that office. And the milds in your in most offices, we estimate around 60% of your patient base, meaning the ones that they're not really aware that they think their eyes are supposed to kind of burn and itch 24/7. That was actually me. I was in that category before I found out about hypochlorous spray, which I use all day long now. So yeah, that's where the cultivating comes in. It's showcasing. Last thing on that one, we invested a lot in all the equipment. For diagnostics, for in-office treatments. And then we sat back and looked at our own practice, and we were like, listen, we look identical to our competition across the street who doesn't have anything. And we saw that, again, being very marketing based with our team here. We said, we can change that. We can showcase that, and it will cultivate more patients in that office. And again, when a patient comes in, whether for a dry eye evaluation is the reason they're there, they immediately see a lot in the area that shows that we focus on dry eye. They don't just assume it. And then second, for the patient coming in for the comprehensive that's been coming in for 20 years, well, they can come in and they see all these new services that are available, and they're not being pushed into it. We're making it to where they want to ask. So again, that's going to be cultivating, kind of dialed in.
So in addition to helping offices create this environment that cultivates these patients to consent into treatments, what other benefits does Dry Eye Rescue provide to offices that are looking to expand their dry eye services?
So as far as looking to expand, there's a lot that we're doing out there that is actually a lot of fun on the retail site. Not only are we helping you drive product revenue and patient compliance in your office, but every patient that gets sent to dryeyerescue.com, the majority of all profits go back to your office. But it doesn't stop there. That's where the proportion of profits that are coming back to us, we are funneling into nationwide marketing to drive more people to that site. We want everyone out there that's kind of floundering. And when they're searching for these products, those are obviously dry eye patients that are looking around for the products they need. And we want to make it to where we want to be the bridge. We want to make it to where when they look for that product, they Google it, etc., they find our site. When they click on the product, this is the key. Right next to that add to cart button is buy locally. And we even went one step further recently, and just below that button is going to be the 4 closest dry eye rescue providers, if they've got their settings correct in their system. So if they're in downtown Boston or within 10 miles of there, they can look for any product on the market and they're going to find your office. And that's where we get that patient to go into that. That doctor listing, again, is going to be it's kind of fun as well, because we allow you to upload as much content as you can, videos, photos, list all the testing and the treatments. We want to tell these patients out there, we want to showcase what you've invested in. We don't want it to where, again, the office that didn't invest in anything can still treat dry eye, absolutely. But the patients that are coming to us are the ones who are looking to go above and beyond. And that's where it's a two-part attack. You're sending your people there, earning money, driving compliance, and then we're taking the funds on our end to funnel more people to that doctor locator to find your office.
Interestingly, that is how you and I first started talking, because I had a student of mine that I said, oh, I like this product. And she Googled it. This is before you and I had met. And then she put in my name on the website to get it this 10% off. And you contacted me and I was like, what is this website? I've never heard of it. So
it is a funny phone call across the US. We call offices and we're like, hey, you've earned about $400 so far in product orders. They're like, who are you? And it's usually a pretty good call after that, for sure.
So last thing, how can doctors get started with Dry Eye Rescue?
The best site with all the information, and of course, our marketing team here loves more, more is better. DryEyeRescuePro.com is where all the information for our doctors are, and links to get to the other sites. Next best step is to look around, before you don't have to agree to anything. When you go to that site, you'll see how to get to the wholesale site and set a free password. Once you set that password, you're in. You can now look at all the products that are available, look at all the pricing, mess around, and then click to be contacted and schedule a call. So first thing, you can reach out through that dryeyerescuepro.com. But secondly, while you're thinking about scheduling that call, go ahead and set up the password, look around. You'll be surprised. There's not much out there in the market right now that we're not offering on that site.
Thank you so much, Dennis. We have thousands of doctors who love treating dry eye watching. So thank you for sharing the Dry Eye Rescue platform with us to help make treating dry eye a little bit easier.
We're doing our best, and it's been a lot of fun last year. Can't wait to see what we get done this year.